Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a big project on the Tundra. I'll be installing the Eibach Stage 2 Pro Truck Lift kit on the Tundra. Out of the box, it will level the front with the OE springs in the back. If you put the Eibach springs in the back, then you'll need to adjust the front to be level. For me, I'm going to go with the way it comes out of the box with a 2.5-inch lift in the front, inch lift in the back, and then we'll see what it looks like. It is adjustable, so if I don't like the stance after I get it installed, I'll be able to make some adjustments and get it exactly the way I want. Stick around, I'll walk you through the install. The Stage 2 kit, you get the front struts preloaded. Notice that they are adjustable here. And this is how you adjust it, by spinning this collar with this tool. They come preset here to level the truck if you use the stock springs in the back. If you use the Stage 2 springs in the back, which are these ones, this will lift the back approximately an inch. So if you want to level it, then you will need to adjust the preload on that strut to get it level with these springs. You also get the new shocks for the back as well. The difference between the two, the Stage 2 and the Stage 2R, is the rear shocks in the Stage 2 do not have the rear remote reservoir. So that's the difference between the Stage 2 and the 2R. So looking at what we've got here, we're ready to go ahead and start getting the truck prepped and ready. So I will jack the front up and get it on jack stands so I get the weight off the front suspension. You can see I've got the truck up on the jack stands. The front wheels are completely off the ground, so the front suspension is at full droop. This will allow me to, if I need to put a jack under that lower control arm, I can go ahead and do that and not have any issues with the weight of the vehicle on while I'm trying to work on it. The other thing that I've done is I have the hood open because I'm going to do the upper control arms at the same time, and it requires you get in here into the engine compartment and do a little work removing some items up here so that you can get the front, the upper control arm off. So I will start getting ready. So here's the setup and the task that I have to work on here. So to replace this upper control arm, I have to take out that bolt, which goes all the way through, looks like. I need to remove this nut, this safety clip, and then that will allow me to take this off. I need to remove the 4 nuts here on top of the strut. And then I also need to remove the bolt there at the bottom to get this strut out of the way. As for the rest, I believe I need to take the sway bar link off down here on the bottom. And then there are a few other little brackets up here along the top that I will need to take off as well, so that I don't put undue stress on some of these components while I'm replacing. If you're just changing the upper control arm, you'll just want to take off some of the bolts that hold these brackets in so that you can remove the upper control arm. On the passenger side, it's 1 bolt, that is 22 millimeters on both sides, and you just slide the bolt out without having to take anything else out from up in the engine compartment. This is a very simple side to get done. When you start working on the strut removal, you'll need to put the active arrow down. You can see it there below the bumper, just above the jack here. The way you do that is you have the truck on and then shut it off, and then within 45 seconds lift up the wiper stock into the mist position and hold it for a couple seconds. Then you'll hear this arrow skirt come down, and then you're able to get in here and then do some more work without this being in your way. So to get this strut out, we're going to remove this nut. And then we'll remove this nut, do the same on the other side. That'll allow us to move the sway bar out of the way and continue on. These two screws here, bolts. And we're going to want to loosen the two bolts on the bottom of on the lower control arm. We're not going to take them all the way out, just loosen them up. Next thing I'll do is remove the bolt from the bottom of the strut. Next we'll take these two bolts off here, but you want to support the lower A-arm. Once you get the two bolts out, then you can go ahead and drop this down. That'll be able to lower that A-arm down, get it out of the way. Now you're ready to take the four 14 millimeter nuts off the top. Then you're able to slide that strut assembly out of the way and put the new one in. So here you can see the difference between the factory, the black one, and the Eibach, which is the one on the right. The Eibach is about an inch longer, and the spring is also about an inch longer if you look at it. But with the adjustability that we have here, we're able to make some fine tuning and get this to the height that we want. Take note when you go to install this, the arrow that says towards the wheel should be towards the outside of the car or the truck. So again, just take note when you go to reinstall the new shock. And this is what it looks like when it's all put back together. Remember to follow the torque values and double check. Don't leave any of them loose or you'll have an issue. One of the other things with the rough country, this is a serviceable and greasable ball joint. So be sure before you put your wheel and tire on that you grease this up properly. So the next step in getting the upper control arm off on the passenger side is we need to remove the air box on this side and then the ECM so that we can get the long bolt out from the upper control arm. So the first thing we need to do is loosen up this 10 millimeter bolt. So after we loosen up this bolt, then we'll go ahead and remove the MAF sensor so that we can take this box out. Now we're able to take this box out. You'll want to take the clip off for the MAF sensor as well. So the ECM is the part that's in the way, and we need to get it out of the way so that we can get the bolt out. It's held down. You can see the different brackets. There's one here, one bolt here, and one bolt here that you need to remove, along with this clip that holds the wiring harness there in place. So once you get these guys taken out, then you can lift this out of the way and remove that upper control arm bolt. To remove the ECM, you'll need to disconnect the battery, which in the hybrid system is under the back seat on the driver's side. So just lift the seat up, take this cover off. There's your battery to disconnect the negative terminal so that you can unhook the ECM. So you can either take a hammer and pound on it here to pop the ball joint loose. I just use a simple gear puller, then I can get it taken off without damaging anything. Now we can go ahead and take this off. So I've already gone ahead and put this back, but what you may notice, you don't have to unhook that last one. What you can do is, like I did here, is lift this up and reach down and then pull that bolt out of the way. Then you don't have to completely remove the ECM from the truck. Just a little tip to help get you through that upper control arm swap a little faster. Here's a top tip to help you out. Before you bolt the ECM in, make sure you torque your upper control arm bolt. You won't be able to get your wrench in once the ECM is in place. So once you've made it to this point, you'll want to, again, make sure you check all your torque specs. Make sure you get your sway bar put back, torqued, end links torqued, and ready to go. And then obviously anything that you've touched, you want to make sure you torque. And then you want to check again in, say, 500 miles, and then every, say, oil change. With the oil change, it works good because they recommend that you grease these every 5,000 miles. So if you're doing oil changes every 5,000 miles, it's a good time to check these, grease those, as well as check all the torque on everything else. Then you're ready to throw the wheel on and finish up the front end. So the first step in the back is to go ahead and remove the shock absorber, which is the bolt down at the bottom, and then the bolt at the top, or the nut at the top. Once you get that out of the way, then you can remove the sway bar end link bolt, which is here, and then remove the link itself from the truck. Do the same on the other side so that both are free from the truck. Next thing you'll want to do is remove the bolt that's holding the brake lines in, and then we'll be able to lower the axle down. At this point, we can go ahead and take these springs out. And get ready to put the new ones in. Here we have a comparison of the stock spring with the Eibach spring. Don't forget to put the hat in, and then you'll also want to transfer over this from the old spring to the new. This will help keep things quiet when you get it installed. So once you get the spring in, make sure that it aligns, the end aligns with the notch that's in here on the axle. Make sure you don't forget the cup that's on top. Once you get this side done, then you can move over and do the other. Okay, one of the final steps here is to put the shock in, and you'll need to transfer over the 2 bushings from the old shock, or if you have new ones, install those first. You also need to, on the boot, there's a groove in the bottom that you need to get the boot seated into that will keep the boot in place. Then you can install either by starting at the bottom and compressing the shock, but I found it easier to start the top, get the nut started, then lift the axle, and then get the bottom bolt started. Once you get that done, then it's just a matter of putting in the end link on the sway bar and then putting the tire back on, and you've got it all wrapped up. So that's it. The kit is completely installed, and when you do, you're able to adjust the front if you want it a little higher than what comes out of the box. They are pretty accurate. I didn't do a measurement before, but I did after, and the back is exactly 1 inch higher than the front. So if you wanted it completely level, you'd have to go ahead and adjust the preload on the front struts to get it completely level. I like it the way it is. As you can see, it has a better stance, and I've put a couple hundred miles on it since I've installed this. The ride quality is exactly what I wanted. The front, you don't notice any difference, but the back, the spring rate is definitely higher than the stock, so it's not quite as bouncy when you go over large bumps, yet it still maintains a really good ride quality. So that is my feedback on this Eibach Stage 2 kit. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions or comments, leave them. I'll always get to them. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I will have more Tundra content coming up soon.